Hey everyone. I just got up and it is late. It's like almost noon. You believe that? I was up late hanging out with someone and then I couldn't fall asleep. And I think my body was like, dude, you can't get up at normal time. You have to get up later because you just had a migraine. So I slept in. So it's almost noon, which is not very usual for me. But I hope you liked the video yesterday. The video yesterday was a video I've been thinking about for a while. It was about why I'm trying to do what I'm doing. But anyway, today we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. I'm gonna go for a run because I'm taking 2 days off from exercising. Battery died. Anyway, I'm going for a run. When I get back, I'm gonna work on exoskeletons. I need to do a lot of thinking about how I'm gonna do the legs more efficiently because the arms took me so long to do on draft 1, so I want to be a little bit more efficient, and they didn't match up to each other. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get them to match up to each other because I don't have a powerful enough computer. I realized to build them all in one file, I think it's very unlikely that I would be able to do that unless I got really good, maybe, I don't know. But I don't think that's gonna be an option. I don't think we should plan on it. So I have to figure out how I'm gonna efficiently do that and get better at that. Part of it is probably just gonna be practice and doing it a whole bunch. But so anyway, that's what I'm gonna be working on, and then we'll see. Maybe we'll start the legs, maybe we won't. But we're starting on the legs, so we're back to actual, real work on real exoskeletons, not just all that talk from yesterday. Gonna go for a run. Talk to you guys soon. Okay, back from my run. I have to say, the weather is amazing, and it significantly impacts my mood for the better when it's nice out. Like all the leaves are coming up on the trees. Some of them are out completely. Some of them are like budding right now. And it's just so beautiful. Like running out there was just so beautiful. And then I got these new polarized sunglasses that just make everything look so much more beautiful too. It like makes the greens so much vibrant. And polarized lenses are the shit. I haven't had any before. I don't know why. I got these for my birthday and they're amazing. It's a good run. I have to go run a quick errand. I'm gonna go do that and then we're gonna build exoskeletons. Alright, so I'm going to be doing a little thinking out loud here. Before I start working on the legs, I'm going to do a little bit of thinking. Because I want to get a few things a little bit more figured out before I start working on it. So one thing I'm going to look at right now, is I'm going to go through my record. This is a nice part about making daily videos and having the Iron Vlog, is I'm going to go through here. Okay, so it looks like I started on episode, looks like 17. I did, which was titled The Arc Reactor, is when I started the shoulder girdle. So from 17 to 33, 16 days to do the arm. Now, I think it'll go a little faster. There was Snowboys was in there, so that ate up some time, and then so Snowboys was in there, that ate up some time, and then I had to figure out a lot of this stuff out for the first time. So I had to do it. Now I don't have to do it as much because it's very similar on the legs as it is on the arms. So 16 days. So I would guess probably 12 days to do the leg. So to finish draft 1 should be 12 days from now. So hold on. So I just put that in my calendar. So we're gonna shoot to have the draft 1 finished by the 15th of May. So put that in your calendars. That should be when we're done with draft 1. Now let's get an idea for how long it should take us to finish draft 2 and draft 3. So doing the same thing again. So I started work on it essentially the day I started the Iron Altar. The day I finished the Iron Altar, I essentially started on it. So that was the 10th episode of the Iron Vlog, episode 10 to episode 33. So it took me 23 days from when I started to now, and then if we're assuming an extra 12 days on top of that, so 35 days, and then if we multiply that by 2, 70 days. Seems like a long time. Seems too long to me. See, where would that put us 70 days out? That would put us almost 2 months out to get this. Over 2 months, right? So So 31 plus 30 is 61. 61. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. July 12th. That'd be at July 12th. In order to complete both drafts 2 and 3. If we're learning from this. Now, that's assuming that we can't go faster as we get better, which may be an inaccurate assumption to make. I'm not putting that date in yet. I want to see how the legs go, and I want to rethink some stuff before I throw that in, because that's a pretty far off date. So for now, we're not going to do that. We're just going to leave the date for draft 1, which I said was, what did I say it was? May 15th. May 15th, we should be done with draft 1. So on May 15th, put that in your calendars. Well, it'll be the 16th for you guys. That's what we're hoping to do. There's always a chance we're not going to make it. But that is going to be the official deadline for draft 1 right now, which gives me, how many days is that? About a little under 2 weeks to do. So that should be reasonable, I think. We'll see. If something goes wrong, I think it should go faster because I'm getting better at this, I think. But we can always run into other problems I didn't know we had. So hopefully we'll finish draft 1. The July 12th, it might not be that much because each time I'm doing this, I'm adding more. So like one thing I'm going to do on draft 2 is I'm going to try very, very hard to make sure it could actually be built. And then also on top of that, I'm also going to do a bunch of parts in there, which would be 3D composite parts, which I'm actually planning on doing. So those are all going to be on the superficial. So what that means is that when the suit's made, the underside is going to be a composite of metal, which will be titanium, and then carbon fiber and Kevlar. That'll be the base layer, then that's where everything will be mounted to, and then on the outside, that'll be made entirely out of titanium, and that'll be bulletproof, and that'll be how the suit is made. The superficial frame will be entirely titanium. The deep frame will be composite, titanium, carbon fiber, plastic, Kevlar. So I can't do the Kevlar part because it's just too expensive, but it will be made out of steel, but there will actually be probably a Kevlar composite on the inside of this, for the Mark 1, there will be a Kevlar composite on the deep layer. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm not fucking with that at all on draft 1, but I am on draft 2. So I have to figure out new stuff on draft 2. So it may actually end up taking that long. It's longer than I want it to take, but realistically it may end up taking that long. It's a lot of work. But it also may end up going faster. We'll just have to see. So we got our timeline, May 15th. That's when we're trying to have the draft 1 done, and then hopefully move on from there and get drafts 2 and 3 done pretty quick after that. So I'm just sitting here thinking about how I'm going to do draft 3, and then I'm trying to do how I'm going to do draft 1 of the legs. And I'm trying to do draft 1 of the legs more how I'm going to try to do draft 2. So I'm trying to learn from the mistakes of doing the arms and stuff so I can do the legs more efficiently. So one thing I'm thinking about doing is I've talked about doing like a base skeletal design. I think, and by that what I think I mean is what I'm going to go through and do is I'm going to make one sketch that is all the axes of rotation of the lower legs to start with. And that'll end up being 8 axes of rotation. So you have this way, that's 1, this way, that's 2, this way, that's 1, or I guess that's 3 right there. So this way, and then you have this right here is 4, and then this right here is 5, and then 6, which is side-to-side motion of your foot, and then 7, and then toes is 8. 8 axes of rotation, and that ends up, these have 2, these have 2, and these have 2, ends up being about 20 different joints, 8 axes. So I'm going to draw, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw those 8 axes of rotation in a sketch, and those will be my base sketch that I'll draw everything off of. And then the main problem I'm trying to figure out that I need to figure out how to solve is how to get all the different files to match up to each other. So it might just be a simple matter of me needing to define beforehand the distance off the body that I want all the parts to be. So that just a little bit of forethought might be enough to figure that out. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure I'm gonna, or if I should try to do some kind of sketch for it at the very beginning and then just have it planned. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking about that. So I just had a cool thought. If you remember from when I was doing the forearm, how I couldn't get that ring close enough to the arm because if I made it a full ring, it would stick out really far. Well, that's true for the superficial ring, but it's probably not, or I'm sorry, that's true for the deep ring, but it's probably not true for the superficial ring. So one thing I'm going to try to remember is I might be able to make a full ring on the superficial frame. That would be kind of cool. Maybe two different solutions there, but it would give it more support. It would be kind of neat. So I might do that. Try to help me remember. When I get to this next time, if you're watching this now, comment when I get to this in draft 2 and try to remind me. I'm counting on you. So I found a good way to find where the axis of rotation of this joint is, the hip joint, and also just kind of where the hip joint is in general, and that's by following up the shank of the leg, and it goes up almost exactly right to where you want it to go. So as you can see, I have done that right here, so going from up the shank drives me directly to where I need that axis of rotation. I spent quite a bit of time looking at it, and it seems to be that's the best way to do it. It seems to be the most accurate way to do it. Because I was looking at it, this really is, I put it all the way out here. It is a little bit further in, I do believe. Alright, here's someone's axis of rotation ideas for the foot. Not 100% sure if it's right, but it's the best we got right now. And, well, maybe not the best we got right now, but it's something right now, and I'm going to go with it. Here's another one, but I can't really tell where it's lining up with the toes there. See, that one has it going through a different set of toes, and then this one over here has it going through even a different set of toes. So, I don't know. I think as long as they're all 90 degrees to each other, that's what matters. Alright, one thing I want to show here is if you look at this is your knee joint, but it doesn't matter. I'm just talking about joints in general here. This is the angle, so wherever the radius is into this and you find the center of rotation, that's where your axis of rotation is. So you can look at these joints and you can interpret where they're spinning around. So your knee joint is spinning up here. Now, one thing that's interesting here is if we look at the heel, we have quite a bit of curve. It's actually quite low. It's like almost way down there. Look at that, way down there. That's where that axis of rotation is right there. So if we look here, right here, you can see that I have the axes pretty low down there on the foot. So we got all the axes figured out, all 8 of them. So tomorrow, Odell's IPA. Tomorrow, I am going to start work on the legs, but now I should have kind of like a, I don't know, like a roadmap on how to get there. So hopefully it'll go more efficiently. That's the goal anyway. That's the hope. So I'm still kind of working. I'm trying to figure out how to do these more efficiently because, I mean, we just looked at it. Taking 70 days just seems like too long to get all the drafts done. I'd really rather have it done quicker than that. So I don't know. We'll see. But so I have all the axes made, and I don't know. I'm probably going to start by trying to get a lot of the joints pulled and then try to do the struts between them. I don't know if I'm going to do all the joints at once or if I'm going to do... Oh, the other thing I need to do is I'm going to write down in my journal and I'm going to figure out... I don't know if I'm necessarily going to do it first, but I'm going to write down the amount of tolerance I want in between my body and the suit. And the further you get into your peripheries, the less room for error and the more precise and tighter it needs to be. Like on your chest, where your size varies a lot as you move around, it'll be like almost an inch, or maybe not quite that much, but quite a bit. But then down on your feet and on your hands, especially on your hands, it's like on your fingers, it's like pretty much no tolerance. I mean, it's like right there. I mean, it needs to be as tight as possible in order to get your fingers together and stuff. And the feet, it's going to be pretty tight too. It can't be too tight because it'll hurt my feet. It'd be really shitty if I built all this and I couldn't walk in it because it hurt my feet. I have to get clever on how I fix that problem. But that hopefully won't be an issue. Anyway, I'm going to write down and I'm going to know, okay, I want that here it's going to be X distance and here it's going to be X distance. So there's going to be a distance set for each one. That way I don't really have to think about it. So I'm going to write that down. So I'm doing, if you can't tell, I'm doing more planning before I do the legs on the Mark 1. And then I'm going to learn from that, on the draft 1. And then I'm going to learn from that when I do draft 2. And hopefully draft 2 will go much more smoothly because of the planning I'm doing now. So I'm going to do a little more planning tomorrow, and then I'll probably end up building tomorrow. So you guys are awesome. Love you guys. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.